to Kop-Ish.
Shout out to Kopish, guys.
Keep all the good work
the
up.
two legends, Emil Heskey, Howard Gell. Can't get much better than that, guys. Yeah. You know what to do now. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm with legends, guys.
Kopish.
What's going on, people? Welcome back to Kop-Ish. It's a little bit of a downer in terms of what's going on right now, but we thought we'd try and pick everybody up with a nice, jovial, positive, jokey, but we're all annoyed conversation for this one. We're calling this one The Fear of the Unknown, which is what it feels like to be a Liverpool fan right now. So big up everyone who's watching. Make sure you smash that like button for me. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. 55% of our watchers last month didn't subscribe. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe. Get us to 30,000 as soon as possible. We got two special guests with us, but before I introduce those, my co-guest, Cal. What's going on, brother? You good?
Yeah, it would be better if Liverpool signed a few players, but we're here, innit?
You know what I mean?
This could be, I don't know, this could be 2021, this could be 23, this could be 2006. This is Liverpool Football Club. That's what we do.
Exactly. And we got two brilliant guests for you guys today. We got Ram and we got Jerry, James in the building. What's going on, boys?
Good, man. What to say, man? I don't know, man. I'm getting a bit anxious. The transfer window's nearing a close. Chelsea's on the horizon, and I'm just frustrated to say the least. But happy to be on that.
I take it back. I ain't good, man. I hate the transfer windows. You know, it's just seeing Arsenal, even United to an extent. Chelsea gonna probably do some stuff, and we're just doing absolutely nothing. It's like it's made me to succumb to such poor players for a club of Liverpool Football Club. But we'll chop it up, man. We'll chop it up.
Yeah. All right. So Jerry says something that just resonated with me so much backstage when he said it's the fear of unknown with everything. Because we were just thinking about like transfers, whatever. Like there's just so many things that are just unknown about how we're gonna be this season. It's crazy. But let's just start with the transfers, boys. So the player we've been linked, and when this comes out, because this is a pre-record, things could have changed. So forgive us if things have changed, boys.
But it won't.
Yeah, you better buy one. That's safe bet is it won't have, will it?
Yeah.
But you know, we'll try and keep it as generic as possible based on the fact that it will mean that things kind of change. So we're gonna stray away from Lavia. We're not really gonna talk about Lavia because that could change at any moment, hopefully. But let's talk about this new kind of link that we've been, linked with, which is look, I don't really know. You lot obviously let me know that he's the guy, Trinidad, Barbados, whatever the situation is that people have been talking about for a little while now. So I was like, okay, so he's not that much of a random guy. He's actually a player that a lot of people in the chat, and big up to everyone in the chat, has been like, no, do you know what? This guy's good. You should go and watch him. Check this guy out, blah, blah, blah. He has been recently called up and now he's received a cap for Brazil as well. I mean, I'm not saying the national situation is sensational and as soon as you play for your country, it means that you're world class or anything. But I mean, being called up to the Brazil squad is still pretty much a big deal. So he has been called up. Cal, I'll start with you, bruv, because we've gone back and forward on this and we've never really been in disagreement. We've just spoke about it a lot. Going into untapped markets and picking up gems, is it possible to do when you're a club like Liverpool? It's all well and good for a team like Brighton to go and take a risk on a player that they don't know if he'll be good. But you know what? If he's not good, no one remembers. And if he's brilliant, they make 100 mil for him. It's all right for them to do, but can a team like Liverpool do it? So how do you feel about this? We're about to tap into the South American market possibly.
I'll be honest. I'm happy about it. And I'm not going to be shameless and claim to know anything about the player or that I've watched him play or anything. I haven't. I genuinely don't know. People have tagged me and stuff on Twitter. People have been telling me about this player. I don't know anything about him. But what I will say, I'm happy that we're doing this because I'm sick of us watching these players go to the Portuguese league, the Dutch league, wherever. And then a year after doing well there, we're linked with them for triple, quadruple the money that they were purchased for. I'd rather cut out the middleman and just go to the source. And here's the thing is, I understand why people are frustrated with this or not over the moon with it, because if we get Trindade, or I'm just going to call him Andre Trinidad because I don't want to butcher his name. The reason why I think a lot of people are frustrated with this is because we know how our club is. We'll probably only just get him. Whereas what we should be doing is getting 2 other midfielders and him, maybe having him go out on loan and then play some football there and then bringing him back in a year's time. We know we ain't going to do that. Now, we've seen the likes of Matoma, Caicedo, McAllister, Crava. All these players have been bought from lesser known leagues and come in and they've lit up Europe. Enzo Fernandez, the same as well, and then end up getting a move to Chelsea for 105 mil. The issue with us is that, one, we don't really do that as a club. We're not progressive like that. But also, I understand the concern from others is that and Jerry, you said this, Caicedo wouldn't be Caicedo without playing plenty of minutes. But that for me comes down to the manager. So, and unfortunately, a manager who doesn't really like to rotate and give out minutes and spread minutes out throughout the squad. So we would have to have a complete philosophy change from top to bottom if we're going to be buying players like this. But I want us to do things. I want us to take these calculated risks make more sense than say, in fact, I'm not going to use a name, but then say like buying other players at extortionate prices. This for me is more of a calculated risk, especially with how we are on a budget, it seems.
You know, I don't want to go off on a tangent because I do want to stay on topic, but I think there's a bit of a I think Klopp is a little bit misrepresented in terms of like doesn't like to rotate thing. I think that's become something that we've been thinking about in maybe recent time. But if I think back to 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20, when we were at our peak and our midfielders brilliant and all of our midfielders were playing well, chipping in, bar maybe Naby's injury problems, but like the majority of our midfielders, he rotated the midfield all the time.
He didn't all the time.
Nah, bro. I mean, obviously you play your best players when you want to play your best players, but like there would be a lot of occasions where I'd be like, okay, he's gone with that. And I think it was only the attack and the defense where we didn't really have cover that he never really used to rotate. But when it was peak Milner, peak Hendo, peak Genie, peak Flacco, Ox was still balling out and playing well. We had just brought in Naby. I think we did rotate midfield a lot because he trusted everybody he was going to bring in.
Do you know what?
Trust with Klopp.
Do you know what, Drift, that argument works? The only time it actually works is in 21-22 when we challenged for the quad. Because I think Thiago played about 40 games, Keita played about 40 games, Fab played around about 50, 55 games, Hendo played around about 50 to 60 games, and then you had Curtis playing 30 games and so on and so forth. It works in that situation, but I think when it comes to the likes of this 18-19 season, I think people like to talk about it a lot because of the fact that our best team on paper only started 3 games that entire season. The best team on paper kept on changing left, right, and centre because we didn't know what our best midfield was. We sometimes put Milner there. We didn't put Fabinho there until the January. We sometimes put Henderson in the DM position. We sometimes put Wijnaldum instead of Keita instead of Wijnaldum. We didn't know what our best team was at that time.
But it was still rotating though, right? And I think it was because he trusted every player. He knew Ox would give him something. He knew Millie. He knew whoever he brought in was going to give him a good game. I think he's only reluctant to rotate when he doesn't trust the player that's going to play or that he's going to replace him with. Like Minamino, for example. He didn't trust him. That's why it took so long for him to even start playing him. I don't think it was because he didn't want to rotate. He was just worried this player's not going to do what I need him to when I bring him in. Don't a lot of managers operate in that way? Arteta doesn't rotate. Jose doesn't rotate. And Conte doesn't rotate.
Arteta pretty much only had a game a week last season.
What it is, I know, but with the rotation thing, Drift, is that your style has got to be conducive to be able to not rotate. So when you're passing the ball about and you're not exerting, you're not hitting that in the red zone 9 out of 10 games every single game, and you're keeping a lot of the ball, you can go and keep more or less the same team. Because when you look at Barca, they were able to go and do that because it's like they just keep the ball. They're not running around a lot.
Yeah, no, that is a good point.
And then keeping it. Liverpool's system up until this season, when Klopp said, you know what, he wants to go and be a possession-based team, has been about high intensity, being very direct, hunting impacts, playing a high line. Everyone's running so much. You can't not rotate because then the players break down. And we've only really won, when you think about when we won the league, right? We had no injuries that season. We had no injuries. Everyone was on form. We were able to go and blitz everyone. And that's a unique type of season. We've seen since then, we haven't been able to go and do that. We've needed.
No, that is a good point. That is a good point still. That is, yeah, I didn't, obviously, like, I forgot about that point. But yeah, I don't know. I still do think, though, it's about the trust of the players. I think if Klopp's got a squad and he trusts everybody, I think he would rotate a lot more than he does. But anyway, yeah, sorry about that tangent. So to bring it back now, so Ram, I'll ask you next. Same question to Cal. Are you happy that we're going to go and tap into the South American market, or do you think it's too big of a risk?
I'm happy that we're doing it. However, the premise of why we're doing it is wrong, completely wrong. And I'll give you the perfect example. I think we can all admit Casemiro is arguably, if not the best DM in the world. Yes or no?
He's one of them. He's one of them.
Yeah. Top three. When Real Madrid signed him from Sao Paulo, he didn't come in straight away and became the main DM in that team. It was Kadira.
Sorry, they signed him from Porto, though, didn't they?
No, they signed him from Sao. I thought the same, but they signed him from Sao Paulo and then loaned him to Porto.
I didn't know that.
That's what we should be doing. If we are going to get Andrea, we should be doing stuff like that. Send him into a Porto, a Benfica, learn the trade, be in an environment where it's not too dissimilar to Brazil, and let him grow. Let him gain some European experience. Because playing South American football compared to European football, completely two different styles. Completely two different environments as well. Pitches are different and the managing styles are completely different. What we're doing with Andre is basically telling a kid to come into our team who, expectations-wise, we all agree that we should be wanting to go back to where we were in terms of challenging for the league title, challenging on all fronts, right? We're expecting a 20-year-old kid who probably hasn't seen.
He's 22, bro. He's 22.
So 22-year-old kid who probably hasn't seen what England's like, never lived in England at all, to come in and play for one of the biggest clubs in England in the most demanding position in the history of the Premier League. I'm going to say it straight up. Playing as a DM for Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool side, the most demanding position in the history of the Premier League. I'm going to argue that to the ends of the earth. And we're going to ask a 22-year-old kid who has no experience of European football to do that. It is bad planning. It is bad planning. I don't disagree with the premise of going to South America, finding these gems, but we have to do it properly. We can't just throw them into the deep end. I use this analogy to JJ all the time. It's like telling a kid to swim in the deep end without a lifeguard available. You're either going to hope they can swim, but if they sink, what do we do? It's going to look peak.
Yeah, boy. I mean, Jerry.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about us dipping into the South American market in the way we are?
I think it sounds great on paper. I think it does. But I don't think a club in the position of Liverpool can go and do that without doing what Ram and Cal have said about, loaning them out and just taking a gamble on like a young player. I think you can do it that way. You can't do what Brighton have done, signing McAllister and Caicedo for peanuts and then just playing them in the Premier League. For them, whether they finish 8th or 11th, or it doesn't really affect anything in their club. And if they overachieve, great. With Liverpool, you're coming in and you've got the pressure of the fans. There's a bit more expectation, especially this Liverpool team that have won everything under this manager. We're not in a position to go and do that. Like in an ideal world, you're looking at a different caliber of player. You're looking at a player that's ready made. You're in the plug and play section, innit? You're not going to IKEA and looking to build the parts. Do you know what I mean? You're going to Boom and Beds or whoever and just saying, yeah, deliver that, and it's already. Do you know what I mean? It's done. I don't need to screw anything in. You're just bringing it in. It's ready made. So it's a weird one. The other thing as well is that I can't recall anyone coming straight from the Brazilian league and playing in the Premier League, apart from, especially in midfield, apart from Martinelli and Jesus.
Juninho.
Yeah, maybe so, but I think midfield...
Martinelli played Ligue 2 football. He was playing the second tier of French football at that time.
Really?
Oh, they didn't sign him direct from...
If I'm not mistaken, I remember them.
I thought he came straight from Brazil, did he not?
Yeah, because my point was going to be that from an attacking standpoint, we've seen it even with Diaz. You don't need to understand the particular system to still be effective. You just need to go and be able to play your game and being able to kind of beat your man and I mean, run quite fast and dribble and try to score. Those are universal type of traits.
He came from Brazil.
But in the midfield, when you can't go and do that, it's so much more intricate. And I can't recall that ever happening. Ever happening. I remember Klopp loved, wasn't it Alan that he loved, and he always, as well. Yeah, we always had him around, and it just didn't work out. I know he couldn't get a work permit, but it's not like he tore up any trees when he was in Europe either. That's someone that we brought straight from Brazil. So look, it's good future planning and kind of future proofing the club, but we need someone now, and I don't know this guy. I'm just gonna be honest. It could be Andre, it could be Trinidad, it could be Andre 3000. I don't know. At this point, he's just a guy, man. Now, Drift, honestly, you could just tell me, look, yeah, my cousin, he's signing for Liverpool, and Klopp said that, he wants him to play as a DM. That's as much as I know about him.
I hear you. It is kind of scary, guys, in that regard.
If we go through the history of the Brazilian footballers that played in the Premier League, how many of them actually came from Brazil? Like straight from Brazil?
Jesus and Martinelli. That's the only ones I can think of.
Yeah. And I mean, to be fair, that's a very good example.
Lucas Leiva.
Did he come from Gremio straight?
Did he come straight? Okay.
Okay.
I mean, Lucas Leiva had a very hard baptism.
Start. Yeah. Look at that start. Yeah, Jesus.
I mean, that was probably a lot on Benitez because he tried to make him play defensive, and he was an attacking player when we bought him, which is really weird. But
he's box to box, isn't it? But
and he just completely made him into a DM, which was a bit random. But I mean, there are good examples though that it can be done. Again, what you were saying, I think was it Ram or Jerry was just saying about how it's easier to fit into a team when you're an attacker than it is a midfielder or a defender. I get that because it is more about freedom as an attacker. Whereas when you're a midfielder or a defender, especially a DM, it's about structure and about system in terms of like how you fit in. So you're right, you can go and express yourself as a winger because you've been beating people your whole life. Just go and beat some more, innit? Like whereas in a apart the pressing part though, a lot of them don't get that you've got to be like defensive from the front. So I guess there is still like learning curves, but it's not as harsh as when you're a centre back or a right back or a DM. So, but I mean, Jesus and Martinelli are very good examples of players who've come in, handled it, and been pretty much good from the beginning. So hopefully, it's not something that is that big of a deal. So let's just go on the premise that we get this guy and we don't get anyone else, which is what I think we can all in midfield. I mean, in midfield, which is what I think we're all. I think which is what we all here can agree is a very high chance of being, right? He's the only one that we get.
I disagree.
But that's a very high chance that he's the only midfielder we get.
I think if we get Lavia, I don't think we sign anyone else. I think if we get Andre, I think we sign another midfielder.
What about centre back?
We ain't getting a centre back.
I mean, let's stay on midfield for a second.
Who's the midfielder? Like, what caliber of midfielder?
Yeah. Who
tell me
would it
Burger
be?
From Sheffield.
No.
I reckon another Andre, like Andre's brother. Like,
Or we do sign a Bellingham, but this time
like a Killian thing with his little brother.
Yeah, Joe.
I reckon it'll be Kone or Thuram and Andre.
Let's dig a little deeper. What's giving you the optimism, bro?
Because I think the Lavia thing is more to do with how we value the player as opposed to how much he costs. And it's silly because we've spoken about this, Drift. It's a pride thing Liverpool do, and it's very, very silly because if you want a player, it's not like we're like 15, 20 million apart in valuation. It's a couple of million. Just get it done, innit? But Liverpool have this pride thing where we're not allowed to be taken for idiots, innit? We behave like the mafia, but we spend like Primark.
Yeah,
but
we're always going around telling everyone else to shut them out, but then we start getting angry. We get told to shut up once.
Someone does. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's who we are. But I think if we get Andre, I think we sign another. But and if I'm not mistaken, Kone's available for like 25 to 30 mil. Thuram's available from like 30 to 35 or 40. Is he not?
50.
Who's that for Thuram?
50
Thuram, yeah.
50 million euros, which would be about 40.
That's new information. But is that they come out?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, now we know why we walked away.
We got Bobby Clark at home, innit? So I reckon it'll be Kone and Andre. Then Kone's around 25 to 30.
But then why did we walk? But Lavia wasn't even mentioned when you were talking about Kone and Thuram in July and June.
I know, Jerry, you're asking me questions I can't answer.
So,
he was quietly, but it didn't become like public knowledge, if you get what I mean. The journalists were saying that we wanted him in June, but like it was only like July when it was like, oh wow, we do really want this kid. Like the club are like admitting it, kind of thing. So I think they tried to keep it on a hush hush, innit? And then like,
but then why not go and get Kone if you end up getting a Kone? Because for me, that just sounds like a better deal than even like when you're talking about value for money, you're getting two players essentially for maybe a bit over 50 million as opposed to getting one player for 52 million.
Yeah, there's one caveat though. If we get Andre, he won't come until January. That's
what you believe.
No, those are the terms. If we pay 20 mil for him, we get him at the end of the season, their season, which is January.
Oh,
if we get him now, it's 40 mil.
Jerry's gonna get his wish, and it's gonna be Curtis Jones in the DM for about 4 months.
You want Curtis Jones to play DM?
Hey.
At this point,
no, he's a Curtis Jones stan. That's what he is, bro.
Yeah, I'm a Curtis Jones stan. So anything Curtis Jones does for me is all good, man.
Are you a Jones?
Curtis Jones can be our Busquets. No, do you know what it is?
Were you just going to say it could be our Busquets?
Yeah.
You shameless. I heard the B and I was like, no, it can't mean that.
Now, if I'm being deadly honest, I think Curtis Jones has the ability to go playing anywhere in midfield now, but it's the same thing. It's the whole thing of the unknown. Because we haven't seen him there and because he hasn't done it for a long enough period, we're not willing to go and trust that. But my argument is I'd rather go and just try. Like if someone offered me now having Andre or Curtis Jones, I'd rather just stick with Curtis Jones and get like a Thuram or get someone else as opposed to getting an Andre, because I just don't know what this Andre guy does. And I don't think you can go and just look at what he's done in the Brazilian league and just transfer that over into the Premier League, especially in the Liverpool team, when he hasn't played in the system like that. Jones now, at his age, understands the system more than anyone. So when you're talking about someone that understands the role, I think that's a better option than just going and getting like an Andre, in my opinion.
Jerry, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Odegaard, De Bruyne, and Kunku, they're all running at Curtis Jones. Are you good with that situation?
You know when you go into battle,
that's a no.
That pause.
Listen, you know when you go into battle sometimes, right?
Oh, no.
You get your one-on-one scenes, but a lot of the time it's a team effort. So the team's got to defend better because now the reason why I say that though is Curtis Jones or no Curtis Jones, we've had Trent there, we've had Clarkson, we could have had Fabinho in there. Our midfield's still getting cut open, no matter what. Like it's happened every single game in pre-season. So no matter who's played in the DM, we've been cut open. But for me, it's the lesser of two evils for me at the moment, because I just think Andre is an unknown quantity. Like even you telling me, I mean, De Bruyne running at Andre, like I've looked at the stats of Andre, like in terms of like his physical stats. It's not anything great unless he becomes like a Kante. Unless he's like a Kante, which obviously I don't know. Then I don't know how that's going to work either.
I'm waving the white flag if I see Curtis Jones in the 6, bro. I'm waving it right here, right now. I'm sorry.
Andre isn't a DM. I think everyone thinks he's not a DM. He's more box to box.
Oh, but then this is even more like weird. Then
But we need the DM.
I know.
so why are all the clips that everybody's putting up of him like tackling back, strong pace? Why are they showing me all that shit then?
PR drift clicks. Everyone lives for clicks nowadays.
They're drinking that Kool-Aid drift, and it tastes good.
So hold on, Cal. You want to go and get Kone and Andre, both who aren't like just sixes, really?
No. Jerry, you can't do this to me. I got a reputation. I got a family to feed, bro. These were the words that came out of my mouth. I'm working with what the club are showing as options right now. If it's up to me, Arcs Drift, I'd have gone and got Declan Rice at the beginning of the window. And if it was not him, Ugarte.
Oh, that's all of us, Callum, bro. That's all of us. We all want to do
with the options we have now. I mean, Palhinha was the next one I wanted. Then he went down with an injury. I mentioned his name and he went down with an injury.
What about Yusuf Fofana?
I haven't seen enough of him. I know you've been speaking about him for a while now. I haven't seen enough of him.
His stats look good. His stats look very good. I haven't watched him, but his stats are like ridiculous.
And if we're doing this inverted thing, no, but if we're doing even then, if we're doing the double pivot thing, perfect partner for Trent.
Put Trent right CM, man. That's where he wants to be.
Hold. Is there not an argument then? Yeah, speaking on Trent, is there not an argument that maybe Liverpool don't want to play with a DM? Like, there's this whole like feeling because the DM's been so pivotal for like a few seasons now. People forget that before then there was no DM. There was just centre mids, innit?
No, like JJ, I'm gonna stop you right there.
Yeah,
we as a collective have seen what happens when you don't play with a DM.
Yeah, it was
especially
ugly.
with England.
It's like taking a piss without wiping.
No,
messy, bro.
No, I hear you. But I'm saying, football's not always been played with a DM. This is like a new type, not new, but like it's a in the grand scheme of football, it's a new phenomenon, isn't it? It's like an attacking fullback.
No, but you've had someone who's more defensive minded.
Yeah. No, you might have had someone that's more defensive minded, but imagine doing that with like two midfielders. Sometimes they just both rotate. Like when I look around back in the day, you just go and see like if you want to use like the Scum United, it was just you had Keane that goes forward sometimes Skull drops off and they just rotated. Why not? Like in this game today, for instance, I remember a few times where Jones was higher up and Szoboszlai was the one that came and got the ball, or it was McAllister. And maybe that's the type of thing we might see going on as opposed to having this one kind of destroyer in there and it'd be a collective effort defending. Maybe that's what Klopp's talking about when he's talking about solutions. I don't know.
But then I'd argue this though, JJ. At that age, you had the likes of Irwin and Neville that wouldn't go bombing down up and down that bombing down that byline. Like they like what Robbo and Trent do. They were very much disciplined. Whenever they need to go up, they go up. But when they don't need to, they just stay back right next to Stam or Ronnie Johnson, whoever's playing next to Stam.
Maybe that's why Gomez got that number 2 last season, man.
Speaking of Robbo, we better start looking for his replacement from now. No, not even in a bad way. I just don't want to be sat here in 12 months and we're scampering around for a left back. Let's start the scouting from now. Theo Hernandez is right there, by the way. But let's start the scouting.
No, Cal, I want Tsimikas gone, bro. I want him straight up gone. I'm done.
No, but that's fine by me. But then the person who comes in has to be an upgrade on Robbo, not an upgrade on Tsimikas.
Yeah.
Who's an upgrade on Robbo? That won't cost a lot of money, Cal. Because remember, FSG tax.
I'll be honest.
Yeah, how much would Hernandez cost? Let's play a little game.
70 million pounds.
All right, let's play higher or lower. Bro, do you know how much money Hernandez would be, Cal?
Yeah.
Let me just have a look at what his transfer market value is.
You could use the argument Maldini left, and Maldini was one of the big reasons why Teo moved to Milan. So you could, All right,
let's look. Where's transfer?
How about that Estupinian from Brighton?
No,
he's good still.
No, he's a little G. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, someone like that, someone like that.
A little G.
Even the Wolves left back ain't Nori as well.
Yeah, I think he's good, man.
All right, Cal.
He's injury prone, Cal.
His market value is 60 M's, bro.
Yeah, I know. When's his contract run out though?
So you got to throw his contract runs out in 2026, bro.
Yeah, so like it'll be down to 2 years left on the deal then.
Bro, we're seeing 1 year left players go for 100 mil, bro. So
I know,
2
but
years.
AC Milan aren't in a great financial situation.
Look, bro, you're onto something. I think he's a bad man. I've been talking about him with you for a while. He's a G. I would love him. I would love him. 25, perfect age. Like I would love him, but
what Agent Ibu? Agent Ibu.
He's yeah. Look, maybe, but he's too rich for our blood. You know what I mean? Like he's too rich for our blood. We all know.
He'll probably be Owen Beck back off loan for us next season.
Nah, it'll be Lewis Chambers, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
The only way I can imagine us being able to get someone like Hernandez is if Milan have like a really bad drop off from the form that it seemed like they kind of picked up a bit, and then they went back to like not even qualifying for Europe and stuff like that, and then it'll be like he'd just force his way out because he'd believe his level is above that, and then we'd be able to go in. And but while they're playing Champions League and all that, nah.
Can I put a name out there for you guys? Borna Sosa.
Okay. You've been rambling on about him for 2 seasons now, Ram.
What he plays? He plays for Stuttgart. He'd be relatively cheap, and he plays for Croatia.
Is he better than Teo Hernandez?
No.
Then I don't want him.
But he's good though. He's still very good.
Is he better than Nori at Wolves?
Yes, he is.
Going forward, he's not though. From a defensive standpoint.
No, JJ, don't do that.
He's not.
He is. He's a technically better footballer than. No, he's not. He's definitely not Wan-Bissaka. He's technically a very good footballer.
Jerry,
he's more like he's not a Wan-Bissaka. He's not. He's more like a Kolasinac, but a bit more.
Oh, hell no.
No, he's not, JJ. Don't lie. Don't lie. He's a set piece taker. He's actually
Kolasinac is a good left foot. That's what I'm trying to say. Like technically they're decent, but he's not like amazing defensively, and he's not outstanding going forward either. He's just like a middle of the road fullback.
The only time I've seen him defend well was when he stopped the robbers against Ozil.
All right, so I'm gonna throw 2 names out that we spoke about off air, yeah. And I'm not even saying these are brilliant options. They're just 2 options that could possibly something Liverpool could entertain. So the first one is Zangara from PSV, and the other one is Zubamendi from Real Sociedad. 2 players who I spoke to you about off. I know Ram says Zubamendi does perk his interest a little bit. Carl, Jerry, do any of those 2 players seem like somebody that you would be interested in? And I'm taking this just like on a simplistic basis of they're in the top 20 DMs in world football. Because remember, DMs are quite hard to find these days. So
for everyone apart from us.
So those 2 players sit in the top 20 DMs in world football currently. Do either of those 2 tickle your fancy or make you think, you know what, all right, maybe, or as an option, maybe European kind of experience? And yes, no.
Sangare, I like. I think he's got the when we're talking about like just the physical presence in the midfield. I think he's over 6'3". He's tall. He's strong. He's got that build, and he's played in multiple European leagues as well, which is a plus for me. So he's played in France, and he's obviously playing in Holland now. He probably fits what a stereotypical Klopp DM would be, in my opinion. I think he fits that a bit more than Zubamendi. But on the other hand, Zubamendi is a bit more neater on the ball, I would say. A bit more technical. I'll go Sangare if I had to just throw something out there. But it's not like I've watched plenty of those players, but I've watched more Sangare than of Zubamendi.
I mean, you're definitely right. He's 1'9'1". So yeah, he's definitely, as you said, he's got that height, he's got that kind of physicality that Klopp does seem to like. His contract is a very long one though, so it could be pricey. He's contracted until 2027, so you've really got to like make sure that you make that offer worth it. His transfer market value is 35 million, so you'd probably be looking at maybe 50 to 60 million if he was going to try and convince PSV to let him go, maybe. I mean, would that not be less of a gamble I mean, I think Lavia's ceiling is amazing, but if we're just talking about like right now, what we're trying to achieve, thinking about the next year or two rather than thinking about the next 3 or 4 years, would he not be less of a risk at 50 mil than Lavia?
Yeah, for me, he would be less of a risk. I'm a Lavia stan as well. That's another one. I think he's like talent wise. I think he's generational.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about generational, but I agree.
No,
he's an absolute.
No, I'm telling you, this guy's gonna go all the way to the top. I haven't said that about no player recently. I think he's that good. I think he's that good when I've seen him. That good.
The kid is good. The kid is good.
His ability to scan and play off either foot and turn into space. I think you can't go and teach that. I think his ability, the fact that he's still very tenacious and he was able to go and even have the guts to go and leave a City, which is quite comfortable, and go to a Southampton when he was like an unknown quantity. I think, and to start in a Southampton midfield with Ward-Prowse bombing on when Ward-Prowse is supposed to be the deepest one, and he ended up just becoming the DM that played there. I just think it's the intangibles. I think I look at him and he reminds me a lot of Moussa Dembele. In terms of he don't really lose the ball, he can keep the ball on the other side. And Moussa Dembele is one of my favorite midfielders. And I'm not saying he's as good, but I think he is a very, very, very good midfielder. I think
his ball retention is brilliant. I'm not gonna lie, Lavia's ball retention is brilliant for a 19-year-old.
I ran some stats yesterday. His ball retention is similar to like others who many people wouldn't think is special.
But do you know what? It's context as well, because obviously he's playing in a team that's only got Ward-Prowse next to him, and Southampton were terrible. I think if you were to put him in, like, the argument I've always got is, right, as everyone's raving about Caicedo. For me, if you were to swap those players out and just replay last season, I don't think the teams finish anywhere different. I think they still had the same types of season. I think we're raving about Lavia instead of Caicedo, in my opinion, even though Caicedo's a different profile. But I just rate Lavia personally.
I disagree with that.
I think
Caicedo's better. But I do think Lavia's a G though. And you know what? Maybe the ceiling, I'll agree with you that maybe the ceiling could be very similar of the two. I'll agree with that. But right now, I think Caicedo is a level or two easily above Lavia right now. But I mean, maybe you're right. That's because he played in a better team and he developed better. That could be right. Maybe it is because he's 2 years older. I don't know. But look, I'm all in on the Lavia train.
Yeah, but going back to your point though, I think Sangare just... He's more of a plug-and-play player. Like, you know what you're going to get. He's experienced. He's played. He's only like 25.
I'd rather Højbjerg than Sangare.
This Højbjerg talk, man. I mean, Jerry. I know you like Højbjerg. Like, guys, I need you to explain to me what it is about Højbjerg.
I don't want Sangare. I'm not very keen on Sangare. We had a problem with Fabinho when it comes to him turning like a truck. Sangare turns like a truck, like a tanker.
Beep.
Yeah, like it's literally only one way. You can't turn right, you can't turn left. It's literally forwards or backwards. That's it. Right? Forwards or reverse, you know?
So what about Zubimendi then?
I think for me, in terms of what Klopp likes to have with his players and the ability that he has, I think Zubimendi would be a signing that will be a very shrewd signing. He could play centre back, he could play as a DM, and he could play as a centre midfielder. And he's got the
valuation is slightly more, so it might cost a little bit more to get him. But then again, I don't really know if
it's Sociedad and Southampton.
Yeah, Sociedad like hard negotiators. I'm not really sure how.
Well, I think he wants to stay there. He turned down Barcelona this summer. I don't think he wants to leave.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, no, so I don't think it's necessarily down to Sociedad.
I didn't know. To stay. If he's turning down Barcelona, then unless you know something we don't know.
I was going to say Barcelona is attractive as they used to be, in my opinion.
But if you play for Sociedad, you're still going to Barcelona.
No, but Cal, this is like Barcelona, and you're the type of player that fits what they need.
Yeah, but Barcelona's a mess, though. It's like Man United, though. A lot of players would probably go to Man United in England right now, either.
I think at the same time as well, they've got so many midfielders in there as well. I know they might not be of the quality, but there's so many midfielders. You might be thinking, if I don't hit the ground running, I might not even go and play. You know, De Jong's going to always play. I know they've still got Kessie, got Gavi, Pedri. That midfield's like...
But they're getting rid of some of those players, though.
But they haven't done so far, innit? They haven't done at the moment, so...
Yeah, it's... I don't know,
But
guys. I don't know.
we were listening to what Melissa Reddy was saying about all these players that Liverpool are looking at. And one of the players was a ball retaining player. Zubimendi fits that profile.
Yeah.
He's a very good passer of the ball, very good dictator of the ball, and can orchestrate play. And experienced. We've been crying for the last couple of weeks about how if we get Lavia, we don't have any experience underneath him. Zubimendi's experience. He plays for Spain, one of the biggest nations in the world.
Yeah. I mean, as we've been talking, and obviously after I mentioned the names to you guys, I've just been like looking at some stats, thinking about some stuff. Zubimendi's a bloody shout, That turning down Barca thing that Cal just said, I didn't know about, which probably means that maybe he is settled and maybe we couldn't get him to want to leave. But if we could maybe have a little conversation and, you know what I mean, and
he's the right age. He's the right age as well. He's 24.
Yeah, 24. I'm not going to lie. Zubimendi is actually becoming a player that I'm actually like.
And do you know what? Who was the last 24-year-old we signed from Real Sociedad?
He weren't 24.
Yeah, he was a bit younger than that.
Why did you have to say that?
Yeah, he's a bit younger than that.
So again, I know I'm pushing my agenda here, but wouldn't Kone be a better fit for the ball retention and that type of player because he's more physical and he can bear it. He's better with duels and on the ground.
But
and all that as well.
He's great at a ball retention in a different way. He's very hard to get the ball off, as in like he will keep the ball. As in,
I want a bully in there, bro.
Yeah, but I feel as though we need more of a dictator than a Kone. And plus,
Thiago and McAllister.
Yeah.
Thiago's going to leave this season though.
Yeah, but we got him for 1 year, and then McAllister does that role.
But can he play the low
doing that as well?
As well, yeah. We got.
Can he play? But can he play?
We ain't got no one playing the violins though, bro. We ain't got no one playing the trumpet. We just got bare man doing this, but no one's playing the instruments.
So bass. You know what I mean?
I guess so. But like, even if then, like, I still think his defensive stats are really, really good. Like, you have to be a very good tackler to play the centre back as well. You have to have a very good reading of the game as well to play as a centre back. So I'm all for you because people are asking about leadership. I think he's captain of Sociedad, if I'm not mistaken, and he's dominant in some aspect. He can win the ball back. Just the overall package for me, Zubimendi is the guy.
Would you?
Well,
would you guys... Go on.
If you want a pure destroyer, I've said his name before. I'll say it again. Yusuf Fofana. If you just want a pure destroyer, just to get the ball and give it to the players that will play football, Fofana's your guy.
What's Palhinha's situation with his shoulder? Is it in a bad way, or do we not know?
I think they said dislocated. I think they said. Okay. I don't know about the length of time, but I think they confirmed it was a dislocation. Yeah.
Because surely Palhinha and Kone, that's the option, right?
Yeah. Would you guys be up for? Like,
I think he would be the best option.
In a hypothetical world, would you guys be up for Liverpool reigniting interest with Thuram and trying to convert him into a DM?
Yeah, I'd be all right with it. I'd be all right with it.
No.
Because he has actually played the season there as well.
Yeah, I'd be all right.
In the double pivot.
If it's inverted with Trent, not too dissimilar, isn't it?
I don't even want the inverted anymore, bro. Just let him off the leash, bro. Don't take a dog to the park and then leave the dog on the leash, do you? You take the dog to the park so you can.
It depends, bro. Depends what other dogs are in the park.
But we trust our dog, though, right? We trust Trent to go up against pretty much any midfielders with his talent, and ability. We trust it, right?
I trusted my dog as well because I had him trained to not be violent, but it wasn't violence he chose. Yeah. Tried to make me a granddad, rude boy. So, look, I mean, the mad thing is, and like we always talk about these things because we end up having to be bloody mathematicians and accountants and all this stuff. I just had a look at what Zubimendi's on wage-wise, and he's on 57 grand a week, but that's euros. Sangara is on 46 grand a week, but again, that's euros. Like when you're on that type of money, if a team comes in and just doubles it for you, so that means like what's 56 euros? Probably about maybe 49 to 50 in
48, like 48 pound, yeah.
So if Zubimendi's on 50 grand a week, we just offer him 90.
I don't think
you know what I mean?
Would be an issue. I don't think personal terms.
No, but this is how you persuade these people. You know, like maybe Barcelona couldn't really go high in the wages. They do have a money issue at the moment.
Do they?
Maybe they just trying to lean on the fact that they're Barcelona.
Drift. The brown envelope slipped around the side.
Yeah.
Like, he's getting way more than that.
The brown envelope. Obviously,
I mean, Drift. They had financial problems last year, and they ended up spending how much on Lewandowski, bro?
Yeah, maybe.
They've had financial issues for the last decade.
I'm just trying to put a positive spin on it and try and put a little bit of optimism in the room. You know what I mean? But
Drift, so you've been asking the questions. If I said to you, injury free, everyone's injury free. In fact, for everyone's injury free. Obviously, you can't get like a Rice or a Ugarte, or it's obviously Caicedo only wants Chelsea. Who are the two centre midfielders you go for, Drift, and then Rams and Jerry? Like, same question to you. Who are the two you'd go for?
If you're talking to me, like I can just have who I want, yeah. But within realism, I would sign Lavia and De Jong.
When did De Jong become realistic?
De Jong should be realistic. De Jong should be realistic.
No, Drift. Come on, bro. Be real now, bro. De Jong's not realistic. He only wants to play for Barcelona, and Barcelona ain't selling it.
Nah, Barcelona didn't get an offer.
No. Cal, just let Virgin and Cody do their thing. No,
it's always got to move the goalpost, bro. I don't get it, bro.
So you don't think if Liverpool were willing to spend the money, Barcelona wouldn't let us have it?
I'm going to be realistic. Yeah, I'm not just going to say anyone.
No, but obviously you said I can have whoever I want, as in like forget the money, just somebody who's realistic.
I said within realism because you'd have obviously.
I think he would play for Liverpool if we would pay the money, Cal.
We ain't getting De Jong, bro.
No, I know we're not going to get him, but I'm saying if our owners were ambitious and were like, look, if that's the player you want,
nothing to do with
we'll give it to you. We'll give you the money for it. I think De Jong will come Liverpool.
I don't.
I do, but hey, those are the two I'd want.
I respect the shamelessness, Drifty. I respect the shamelessness.
And we take away the fact
that Dion be your DM then, Drift?
No. He'd be my box-to-box player, and Lavia would be my DM, but he would also be able to help out now and again if need be, because he's a way better defender.
Where does Maka
box-to-box man, you know?
Bro, this is how we win everything, guys. This is what we do. This is how, if we've got Jones, McAllister, Soboslai, and De Jong doing box-to-box, we are good, you man, for the next how many years?
We've only got one young DM, bro.
But we've already seen, and Jerry has so eloquently let us know that Jones can fill in at DM. Wow. And come on, man, let's be honest.
See, I've converted one already.
No, but
don't even call me shameless ever again, Drew.
Let's be honest. We know De Jong can do a job at DM if need be. We know he can. Come on, let's be honest. If we needed to,
he does it for Barca. To be fair.
If we needed to play him in DM, he can, bro. He's very good at it. It might not be his best position, but he's very good at it. So we'd be cool. We'd be completely cool.
All right,
but since you said, and that's only because you said that Caicedo wants Chelsea. There's a part of me that doesn't believe that. There's a part of me that doesn't believe that.
He only wants Chelsea, it seems. Bro.
So the part of me that doesn't believe that would be De Jong and Caicedo.
All right. Rams?
Lavia and Kimmich.
Go and tell him he's not realistic.
After speaking to Liam from the Bayern View, Kimmich don't want to go anywhere.
Why did you want to succumb to such mediocrity, bro? Come to play proper football.
Oh, if they get Harry Kane, they're top two, in my opinion, to win the Champions
League. They get Walker and Harry Kane, it could be a wrap.
City, the only team
they got Thomas Tuchel, Callum, man.
Yeah, but he fluked his way to one. He might fluke his way to another, bro.
How can you fluke your way to another when your team is that good?
Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't have to fluke it with Harry Kane.
Well, yeah, even there you go.
Yeah, but he has the best team, so the pressure's on him.
We've just seen today in a preseason game, which isn't even going to be the levels they'll reach in a proper competitive. When you've got Coleman, Gnabry, Sane. These men are all going to be feeding Kane. It's going to be ridiculous. Kimmich from deep. It's going to be, if they get Harry Kane, Kane is going to get a stupid amount of goals for Bayern Munich.
If you want me to be realistic, proper realistic, Thuram and Fofana.
Okay.
I said I wanted a French Revolution. I want a French Revolution. I want bare French players in my team.
Jerry, what are you saying, bro?
Before I answer, is Tchouaméni is that just unattainable?
Yeah, of course it is, bro. You lot don't stick to no type of rules, bro.
No, I'm asking what the rules.
Tchouaméni's rejected us, bro. Yeah, you can't keep sliding in the same DM, bro, with the same chat.
Like. You never know, you know.
Of course you can, but you get a trim.
There's a few people that will say their parents, their dad just kept pursuing the mum. And lo and behold, they're on this planet, man. So
you start hiding the forehead with the snapback. Yeah, bro. I should ask young boys, spin it round, bro. Yo, you just keep going, bro, until you get it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, women love persistence. Maybe footballers do too, bro.
I'd go Lavia and Kone for what's attainable. I think we need one that's going to be a DM and then one that can play DM but is an 8, and I think Kone can do that. So
yeah. Paulinho and Kone for me.
Even with that shoulder injury.
You think that's attainable with that 90 million?
70 million, that's what they want.
70, that's it, sorry.
See, we could get him for 65.
Cow! What were you had to go at us for not being realistic. You think we're going to spend 65
£5 million discount?
Yeah, man.
Cow,
we got
he's 28.
We got a good relationship with Fulham.
Cow, he's 28.
Do we?
Yeah.
I don't think we do.
28, Cow.
But I think, haven't we been taken to a tribunal twice?
No. Carvalho, I don't think went to a tribunal because we patched things up with them. And then Harry Wilson as well. Gave him a little deal for Harry Wilson. Fulham, man.
In Liverpool's eyes, he's about to turn mutton, bruv. And you think we're going to pay
legit
65 M's, bruv? Nah, we only buy lamb. You know what we're like.
Straight lamb.
It's true though, isn't it? But natural causes, nah, bun that. We want murder.
Nah, you know, if you're saying Paulinho is not realistic, then it'll have to be Kone and Lavia then.
Kone and Lavia would be a brilliant addition to the
even
to
when
the
that
team,
MCL.
You know what I mean? No, it wasn't an MCL, you know, G.
No,
in the end, it was just a bruised tendon or something like that. He's
MCL?
back in training. He's back in training in a
it's
week.
not MCL, Jerry. It's not MCL. It's cool.
Oh,
No, it's not. Yeah, no, it's not.
I was going to say, yeah.
I guarantee you, he plays for us. That MCL is going to be working overtime.
You just give him a little bit longer to recover. Apparently, he's going to be back in training within the next 2 weeks. It wasn't a serious injury in the year.
You just do some plyometrics then. I'll sort it out, man.
No,
some rubber band stuff in the gym. Yeah, that'll be all right, man.
I mean, and just go over and have a quick word with Guardiola and be like, what is it you feed your players, big man? Like, you know what I mean? Because for some reason, Guardiola players
feeds them the ball. That's what he does. He feeds them the ball, bro. That's the difference between them and us. Feeds them the ball. It says you don't have to run 100 miles an hour every single minute of every single game.
Are there no DMs out there though?
Do you want to learn 6?
Do you want
to learn 6 that was meant to go somewhere, but the deal fell through? Edson Alvarez.
I liked him and Timber at Ajax, the way they rotated, but that's more of a system thing than him as a. But I did like the way
he's the only lone 6 that's out there.
Has Ugarte actually signed for PSG? Is that official?
Yeah. That's official.
And we wouldn't go back into because we always messed things up with Sporting.
How can we mess things up when he's got a release clause? Only us, I swear. How did we do that?
We done an Arsenal and went in with a bid, isn't it?
That's weird, though, isn't it?
We went in with 29.
How we tapped up Virgil van Dijk when he's best friends with Genie Wijnaldum. Make it make sense, bro.
I don't get it, man.
We must have just got on their nerves, bruv. You know what I mean? Like the man who grab your bags at the airport and you ain't even said whether you want them to take it yet. You know, they're like, we're just getting on people's nerves, bro.
It's a release clause. How can you fumble where it, like everything's good with Leipzig? So what did we do to Sporting that really just made them go, don't even call our phone again?
I've got a feeling he probably wanted PSG as well.
I don't. Apparently wanted Liverpool until Sporting said we ain't dealing with them boys.
But they didn't need to deal with us with a release clause.
My point exactly, bro.
Yeah.
Oh no, so there has to be something to do with the player then.
No,
really, we're being
apparently
serious.
they were going to report us, hence why we stepped away from it. They were about to report us.
But what can they report if there's a release clause? That's what doesn't make sense.
Tapping up, innit?
Yeah. They basically said, right, go and trigger the release clause, but because of what you did before, we're still going to report you.
Well, where's their proof?
I don't get it, bro. We have
proof.
Darwin Nunez in our team.
Pictures of Klopp and Ugarte at Blackpool, bro. There's probably bare pictures out there of them.
But Cal, I don't get it. We've got Nunez in our team. If you want tapping up, go speak to him.
Bro,
go tell him to
it makes no sense to me.
This club actually gives me a headache. I swear to flipping God.
Joyce, I think this Klopp gets excited, innit? He gets excited and then he's just like, oh, I'm gonna do it. Do you know what I mean? Like Virgil's like, don't worry, when I get home after training, I'll give. Do you know what I mean? I'll give Gakpo a call. He's like, no, I'll do it. I
need to do it now, Virg. I need to do it now, Virg. Let me just get home, boss. 9, Virg. 9. I need to do it now, Virg. I need to do it now. Go through them, bro. Go get yourself booked up again, bro. You're on parole, bro. You're committing crimes.
You know what? I think that's the best way to end it there still, because I don't really know how we go any higher than that. We did get to talk about the defense, but you know what? We'll revisit this, boys. We'll do part 2. We'll do the fear of the unknown part 2, and we'll talk about the defense because we know it needs to be spoken about for an absolute fact, innit? But boys,
that's a great show name, Fear of the Unknown.
It is. I'm liking it. Maybe we'll make a little series out of it. Ain't shit gonna change while FSG's here.
Once the season starts, everything's unknown.
You know what I mean? At this state, we'll be running like Friends for 10 seasons at this point. You know what I'm saying? But Jay, Ram, a pleasure as always, boys. Cal, anything you want to say to the people before you take them out, bro?
No, guys, let's just pray and manifest that we get a couple of good players in, man. I can't go for another season like last season. I can't.
I don't know, man. Schmacker came in at first and he was doing so well, and now this is him, man.
Mad thing.
He needs to hit the ball, man. He needs to hit the ball. Get this shit done, man. It's getting on my nerves.
Well,
until next time, people. No, go on. What were you saying, bro?
Well, we heard players like Thuram, Kone, Lavia, flipping Sobosai, McAllister. We were like, smack that is gonna do it, bro. And
now he's forgotten how to smack.
And Schmacker only done the release clause, isn't it?
Exactly. He ain't negotiated nothing.
Yeah. So basically, right now, what he is
dealing water with that McAllister.
He's the guy who's only chatting up the girls who he's been given information like him, so he already knows he's in. How about we just try a thing now with somebody and see what who you haven't got any information about, innit? Come on, Schmacker. Hit the ball, man.
Klopp's just said, you know what? Before I bow out, one of my brethren is just going to get a nice little payout as well, man.
Yeah.
Let
me bring man in. Yeah. He's saying you're falling on hard times, bro. Don't worry. Man will sort that out for you, bro. Don't worry. We've got a little bring-ins. Don't worry. I'm going to get rid of Warden. I'm going to bring you in for 3 months. That should clear up everything, innit?
I try so hard to be positive. I try so fucking hard to be positive. And these managers shit on me, bro. Like
I slapped you bad, bro.
No, I'm not going to lie. You've done well, though, Drift. You've done well.
Yeah, but now I'm on the flat back from Dubai and I'm thinking, what was it? What was the point? What was the point?
He ended up with nothing.
You know what I'm saying? Just getting shitted on. Anyway, people, we will see you next time. Peace.
You got your Louis bag though, right?
No, I haven't, bro. You know what I'm saying?
He's come back with £200 less in his account for the meals. Do
you know what I'm saying? What the fuck is going on? Oh man, I don't know. But people, we'll catch you on the other side, man. We're out. Peace.